Tom Hanks in a war movie. It's turned out well before. Let's see what happens. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm reviewing the brand new movie or TV show on streaming this weekend. Apple Plus coming in with Greyhound. I need you in the comments. Were you excited for this film? Are you a fan of World War II based movies? Let's talk about it. So early in World War II, an inexperienced U.S. Navy captain must lead an Allied convoy being stalked by Nazi U-boat wolf packs. And that is literally this movie to a T. It's a very simple film based on history, of course, and from what I know, not actually doing the research, it looked to be pretty historically accurate. Now, I've seen some complaints online of not enough character depth and development with everyone surrounding Tom Hanks, and even with Hanks' character here. They build him up in a way by giving us context clues throughout and tell us, okay, he doesn't necessarily know what to do. He's using faith to push him in the right direction. He's unsure of whether or not he can pull this off. A lot of suspense built up through that, a lot of intensity within the film because of that. And I do agree with that criticism to a degree, if that makes sense. And I understand that certain audience members are going to have to relate to these characters much more so than what they get. And that does bother my critical brain in a way. But then again, we are getting a contained story here with really one slightly prolonged event. Now, I don't mean prolonged in terms of the movie's length, because the film is only an hour, really an hour and 20 minutes if you don't count the credits, and that may even be too short for a film like this. I like the fact that I got through it so quickly, but I also feel like some more time could have been served to build these characters up a bit more. So that's definitely a flaw, but it's a very purposeful story, if that makes sense. Directed by Aaron Schneider, actually written by Tom Hanks, based off of the novel called The Good Shepherd from C.S. Forster. And I love the fact that they're mixing in these historically extremely accurate moments with a bit of a repetitive storyline, because basically, okay, they're being attacked. Hanks is shouting out directions. They're having to follow these specific orders to make sure everything is in place and in play to win this battle. And at one point, they're just surrounded by these U-boats, and you don't know if they're going to make it out of this or not. And that is one of the beautiful things about this film. They're not afraid to showcase brutality within the war. Now, it doesn't go with that hard R rating. There are moments where you can see the looks on their faces. You can hear the screams of those that were just involved with something extremely violent. So even though they didn't go hard R, and that maybe would have been more impactful for those scenes, they still showed you enough through context clues to where it worked out really well. And then you have the performance from Tom Hanks. And of course, we're going to like this character because it's Tom Hanks, and maybe that is why we like this character, because again, it could have used some more character depth, but you're also telling this contained story. So the film, Greyhound, said, listen, we could, quote-unquote, waste time on building certain characters up and whatnot, but we want you to be in for the action. And I'll admit, it is non-stop action. Maybe not non-stop, all-out war, characters pulling out rifles, shooting each other, but the intensity and the pacing of this film, oh my goodness. You may have to pause it at a point and take a breath, because they're just constantly getting in these situations, and you can see why Hanks is so stressed out. His character on screen being put in this situation, not really knowing if you're making the right decision or not, and that adds to the intensity. And guys, I love war movies. I say it all the time. 1917, my favorite movie of last year. And every now and then we get a war film. It doesn't really do. Midway came out last year, and I got a lot in the comments section. Austin, why didn't you like that film? I just didn't think it was very well made. Well, this film, it's the same types of battles on the water. I thought the visuals were much better. I thought it was much more of an emotional payoff within this movie, and I think Greyhound has a lot to offer, especially if you're a history buff. I think you're going to love this film. You may not care as much about the character development. If you are a fan of film, there are things that are going to bother you for sure, but I do think there's enough in this film to pay off for certain movie lovers. So this is a recommendation. I will say, though, it kills me that I didn't get to watch this in a theater. This is the perfect movie to watch in a theater, and I know it went to Apple. At least we're getting the chance to see it, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it more with the sound design and the technical elements. It's unfortunate. Again, I understand the criticisms to a degree, but they didn't bother me as much, and I'm just a sucker for war movies. What can I say? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Before I give you my score, if you enjoy these reviews, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. Lots of movies today. First Cow, The Old Guard, more videos to come. But in terms of Greyhound, I'm going a 68%, a 6.8 out of 10. A solid positive score from me. And Apple Plus, I mean, it's not that expensive. So if you're asking me if it's worth getting Apple Plus for this, and I'm also, defending Jacob, that's another recommendation. A few good shows on there, it may actually be worth it. You guys the best. Appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you soon.